Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and this is another tour of a city. This time we're in New York City, going right by Madison Square Garden, home of the New York Knicks, who haven't won it since 1972, yet somehow they still call that place a basketball mecca. I don't understand. Well, I guess, you know what, I finally figured that out. Mecca means that people are like, you know, a bunch of people come from around to meet there, which is true. A bunch of people have come from all around the United States to meet there and kick the Knicks' ass. Ever since 1972. This area was really creepy when I first moved here, like the West 20s. This is like the garment district. It really had like that serial killer vibe to it at nighttime. There used to be an old, what the hell was over here? The fucking Catch a Rising Star used to be over here. And I remember I used to take the train because I couldn't afford to take a cab, and I would be walking over there. And it was just the darkest streets I'd ever walked down, you know? And I looked like Richie Cunningham, so I was, you know, I was nervous. These things were annoying right down here. These things, they used to, when they first put these little video things in cabs, everybody, you know, said, we don't like these, get them out of the cabs. People were stabbing knives into them. It was great, and they took them out. And for once, the people won. The people won. So what happened? A couple years goes by. Excuse me, I'm a little sick. They let the mob die down, and then they just fucking throw them in again. All right? But this time what they did is they made it, you can swipe your card and pay for it. So then, you know, they gave you a little fucking little shiny thing. So all the dumb cunts out there agreed to go with it. Not realizing that they got back what they didn't want, and they're whilst helping the bankers to phase out cash. You know how many guys are going to get caught cheating on their wives because they fucking do that? Cash is anonymous. Why can't I shut this off? There we go. Look at this. You hit off and then it comes back on again. We'll make them do it twice just in case they're old. Then they'll have to listen to the commercial. I hurt my finger. I'll sit here and listen. Now we're down in the Chelsea area. This is where all the queers live. All the homosexuals, sorry, the homosexual Americans. Is that proper terminology? Don't say I'm homophobic, I don't give a shit. I'm confused by you guys. I don't know why you want to get married. You wait. Have they made it legal here yet? Oh, I hope they do. I can't wait for you motherfuckers to go through a divorce, then have that epiphany. What the hell did we fight for? When you gotta split up all your fucking Phantom of the Opera box sets. Alright, that was kind of mean, but I'm gonna fucking yell at everybody, so don't be a douche. I feel bad for Schwarzenegger, you know? I understand why he did what he did, or why he felt he could get away with what he was doing, you know? Everything else worked out for him. There's no reason for him to be famous the way he talks, right? He probably sounded like a moron in his own country, and then he comes over here, right? He made it. You talk like that. He got famous for fucking lifting weights. I've been lifting weights since the 80s. No one gives a shit about me. At least I can speak the language. He couldn't even speak the language. Lifts weights, becomes famous. That's where it should have stopped for him. He actually had the balls to say, I'm going to be an actor. Then he becomes an actor. Becomes the biggest fucking actor of the 80s, right? Can't even understand him. Pairing him up with Danny DeVito, even that fucking worked. Does he stop there? No. He goes, I'm going to fucking run for governor of a state I can't even pronounce. And he fucking won and married a Kennedy. Why wouldn't he think that he could go raw into his housemate in the bed where he sleeps with his wife and not get away with it? He was spoiled. I feel bad for him. But be honest with yourself. You really going to sit there and tell me you're not going to go to fucking Terminator Part 3? You know you're going to be there. Is that what they're up to? Now we're in the West Village, and this is actually a real famous place where a bunch of artists, Bob Dylan, Richard Pryor, Bill Cosby, fucking one of those wailing cunts with the guitars, Joan Baez, you know, back then. Who's that guy there who likes to rollerblade? He went bald.
James Taylor.
I've seen fire. Yeah, that
James
guy.
Taylor.
Yeah, that guy. Jesus. Has he ever written an uplifting song? I always thought I'd see you one more time. He was just sitting there bonding over being fucking miserable. He'd be a fun guy to heckle. He doesn't look like he'd have a good comeback. All right, so here we are, stuck in classic New York traffic. When it rains, this is when you really hate this city, you know? This is when a lot of violence against women happens, when they step out in front of you and take your cab. So this is where I spent just about all of my 20s and into my 30s down here in the West Village. And we used to do shows. You'd go from the Boston over to the Cafe Wah, then to the Comedy Cellar, back to the Boston, back to the Cafe Wah, back to the Cellar, back to the Boston, back to the Cellar. That would be one night. You do like 8 spots all in one night. Got paid $50 a whack. You didn't have to take a cab, so you had all of it, $400. And then you go to Ben's Pizzeria on the corner of, what the fuck was it, West 3rd and, Jesus, I'm getting old, McDougal. You get one of their big cheesy slices, you know, and you'd stand there with homeless people, fucking aspiring rappers, NYU spoiled rich-ass kids, the whole mix of it was awesome. And you try to pick up some broad, take her back to your walk-through bedroom apartment, and fuck her on a twin. It wasn't the easiest thing. My fucking roommate used to always walk through, too. Used to always come walking through the second you'd start making a move. And then the girl would be like, I thought you said he wasn't home. Of course I did. I was trying to make you stay. It's all about keeping the plates spinning, sweetheart. My name isn't Frank. It's all been a lie. This used to be the greatest street ever. This is fucking 8th Street down here. I used to come down here and buy my Robert De Niro 3/4 leather jacket and feel like a badass. Oh, up there I used to buy a frilly dress if I felt like it. Can you get that up there? Who do you think's gonna win? You watch hockey at all? Bruins or the Lightning? I think you said Bruins. We got kicked out of the fucking cab. So now I'm walking down the street, literally wearing a wire. So if anybody comes up to me, you wearing a fucking wire? Yeah, I am wearing a wire. Doing something for the internet. Yeah, I used to come down here all the time, walking on my way down to the Comedy Cellar. A couple buildings back, I used to hook up with this girl I met at a college gig. That was a fun 3-month relationship. I remember looking out her window and she'd be like, you see that over there? That's Richard Gere's apartment. He had the light on the other day. I think he's in town. It always struck me as odd that she knew where the fuck he was living. Now, this place, back in the day, you took your life into your fucking hands. I remember other comedians used to tell me, dude, when you walk through Washington Square Park, I have my house keys. I have my house keys. That dude thinks I'm crazy. I'm talking on a cell phone that you can't see. I have my house keys, and they used to have them just spiked out like that so you could punch someone in the face. Somebody playing a piano? That's really fucking hilarious. But a whole piano here. But a whole fucking piano. I feel like a fucking cop right now. Yeah, so allegedly.
I like your stuff, man.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. See, there's one. There's one. Allegedly, back in the day, there was some huge fucking plague. I think they buried everybody underneath here who died. That's like the original poster, guys. That guy's shorts are way too short. Way too short. There's no way that's coming back again. Purple shorts halfway up your fucking thigh. Are you serious? If you're not on tour with Prince, there's no fucking way as a man you should be wearing that. Look at this guy. You ever see that show on AMC, Fatal Attractions? You're gonna see this guy next season if they get picked up. He's gonna get pecked to death one day when he runs out of seeds, right after like 3 days of rain, and the pigeons are extra hungry. Back in the day, that guy could actually get a job at a public school teaching like an art class. Look at this guy, he just killed his girlfriend. You think those sunglasses are hiding the fucking murderous look on your face? What are you gonna do with the body, man? This is something I wish I had more time to do. Just hang out here in the park, take in a little bit of nature and shit on people as they walk by. Alright, so this is the walk I used to do. I never used to walk. I would be running, sweat rolling down my huge forehead, hoping I was gonna be on time to make my next spot. Back in the glory days when you could do like fucking 8 spots in a night. I don't know what they did to the clubs out here. I really sound like a crabby old guy, don't I? I remember in my day you could do 8 spots. Willfall. Widows I'd like to fuck. Huh? I was just waiting for that son of a bitch to die. I remember I used to come down here because I lived on the Upper East Side and it was such a long train ride, or a cab ride was really expensive. And I used to just wonder, what would it be like to fucking live there? All the way up the top of there, your little poor man's penthouse. You know? And you know what's funny is I bet the same people who lived there back then are still living there now because it's rent control. There's Ben's Pizzeria. That's where we go and get our slices of pizza. This is really where I spent the last decade and a half of my life, right here. Mamoon's Falafel, the olive tree. Jesus Christ, I wouldn't surprise me if I did well over 1,000 sets. 1,000, would that be right? When I wasn't getting any road work, I was down there like 7 nights a week. I remember that. 7 nights a week we'd go down there. And if you only put in for 6 days, Esty would call up and be, I just got your avails. Why did you not leave for Sunday too? And you'd be afraid to say because I wanted to take a day off because there's so many guys who wanted to work that place. And you're like, oh, I must have forgot. I forgot I wanted to take a day off. Sorry. Then you put in for 7 days. I used to go on like 21-day benders coming down to this place. So 21, I'm not good at math. Fuck you, I've done at least 800. Yeah, so if you ever come to New York, you got to go to the Cafe Wad, listen to some music. Jimi Hendrix played there, and also a bunch of comics. I know one of these places here was that place where Lenny Bruce got arrested, and then George Carlin got arrested too. I think that happened here. I'd be a great tour guide, wouldn't I? Somewhere in this area. I know it was in this country. Let's start with that. And I think this shit happened sort of. There's nothing I used to like. When I came on, you had a great fucking set, then you come out and you looked up the street late at night, and there's the Empire State Building. There it is, and it would be all lit up as you came walking out. If you bombed, they'd turn all the lights out in observance of the horror that just happened. Yeah, that place in there is amazing. Definitely amazing. I gotta be honest with you, it's always weird to come down here during the day. I almost don't recognize it. Because they don't do comedy during the day. Whatever kind of woman you want to meet down here, dude, whatever you're into is right down here. This is where all the young people go. I feel old now when I'm down here. But it's all right. I'm dressing my age. I'm gonna start wearing a fucking tank top like I did back in the 90s, right? My big puffy pants. I'm an asshole. Everybody thinks I'm crazy. Just talking to myself. I gotta take my cell phone out again. Look at her. How fucking hairy is that bush? Jesus Christ. That's a classic village chick right there. So now we're on Bleecker Street. There's another place up here, the Comedy Village I used to go to. This tour somehow stopped being funny. This is just me reminiscing now. High maintenance. Here we go. High maintenance. 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock. High maintenance. There we go. Got to get my nails done. I don't have time for you. I got to get my fucking toes did. Generation Records. That's nice to see that place is still open.
Okay.
You go in there with all the other nerds. That's what I love about Records. Records is a big time fucking nerd thing. You know, even the DJs, as cool as they are, they're still a little nerdy. That they're pouring through like some shit my dad would listen to, like the Mitch Miller band, trying to catch some fucking 4-bar loop that they can turn into something that makes you feel good when you're on ecstasy or whatever the hell it is they do. See? Guarantee you, he's in there in the record store. You ever find an old piece of gum in your pocket? Look at that. I don't think that's still usable. It is amazing, isn't it? Gum. How it never breaks down. You can just keep fucking chewing it. It's relentless. It just swallowed the fucking bug. That's a village bug too, so that's extra dirty. Anybody out there? Anybody out there smart? They got all different kinds. Well, that's a hell of a, there you go, I'd go with the classic. That one looks like you're smart. This one here, that right there, that's disrespectful to the game of chess. It's annoying. Yeah, slip the tongue in there. Yeah, why would you be courteous for the rest of us? Ah, Jesus. They're in love and we want everyone to know. I think if you go that far, you might as well just start, at least fill her up a little bit. Holy shit, there's another chess. This is because they play it in the park? I'm sure. We're here at Chess Alley. I'm Bill Burr for the Travel Channel. We're here on Chess Alley. This is one of the most exciting places. Oh, interestingly enough, right down the street here is the Skirball Theater, where I did my HBO special, and I also did Why Do I Do This? This kills me. This is the old Boston Comedy Club. Ah, what did they do to it, you fucking assholes? You serious? Zinc Bar. Yeah, this was this was it. Bunch of people sitting in there drinking fucking wine. I saw everybody there. First time I saw Dave Attell, Louis C.K., Dave Chappelle, Chris Tucker. Everybody right up in there. Now everybody's just up in there sipping wine, talking about the banks. There's live music down here. There was whores all over the place. There was people selling drugs. You know, I would say that this is a little bit of an overcorrection. So yeah, this is it. This is what the fuck it is now. If you ever come down to New York City and you go to Vine Bar, I'm actually giving them a commercial here. And you're sitting there sipping your wine and eating your assortment of cheeses and meats. Just know that some of the raunchiest shit you ever heard was said right in there. You know, bummed me out. I walked in there one time just to look at it, and they had no idea it used to be a comedy club. It's like, really? And it made me feel like I was 900 years old. This guy here, you know, when you lose at the track every week, eventually you end up with that shirt. They just give it to you because you've lost your shirt at the track, and then they have these emergency shirts that they give you. So one of the cool things is being a corny-ass white boy from the suburbs is you come down here and you get exposed to all these different cultures and different kinds of food. And I realized that I shit on the French earlier, didn't I? I can't remember. Hey, how are you, man?
Hey,
how you doing?
I love you.
Oh, thank you. That's two, motherfucker. Right here, crepes. I used to go here and get a crepe all the time. All right, I want to get a spinach, cheese, and garlic. Yeah, I saw this before they showed you how to do it on the Food Network. Look at that, huh? Then, of course, I became obsessed with it. I went to some fucking Bed Bath & Beyond. Do you have a crepe maker? Like I was going to sit in my apartment and do that shit. With my temper, like I was going to have the fucking patience to figure out how to do that. Well, watch the knife. Look at this shit. Huh? The Shogun Warriors can't pull this move off. Look at that. Oh, absolutely perfect. Now here comes the topics. So you do comedy and you eat crepes? God, there's so many levels to you. Yeah, so this is NYU Law School right here. All these kids going in there with hopes and dreams that they're going to bring down corporations, and then someday they graduate, realize there's no money in it, and they end up working for them. Say finally somebody of proper age riding a scooter. About ready to get on the subway down here at West 4th Street. There's always a game going on here. This was always fun late night watching guys, you know. As a white guy, it's the coolest thing ever to watch a pickup game where people can actually dunk, you know. Of course, no big deals to these guys. People playing handball over there. You know, I always liked the handball games. I always pictured a young, unknown Tony Montana just getting the job to wash dishes. That orange Hawaiian shirt that fucking guy was wearing. There you go. So we're about ready to jump on the subway here. Gonna head back uptown. I gotta go do my shows up at Caroline's. I'm gonna eat a crepe on the subway. I'm sure I won't get mugged. So this is the thing. You used to be standing down here late night after your spots, praying to God you didn't just miss the train, because late night they come every half hour. So if you just missed it, that means you got to stand on the platform for a half hour, and a half hour any crazy fucking idiot could have shown up back then. Now it just seems nicer. Still dirty as hell, and I wouldn't touch anything, but it just seems fucking nicer down here than it used to be. So it's this thing, you always used to hear those subway nightmare stories of the guy who slips down in between that space and the subway, and he twists up like a bag. And people, that's what they always say. And then they invite your family down to come and say goodbye to you, and after they do, they move the train and all your shit falls out. I'll tell you what's killing me is this crepe is still hot. This is 23rd Street. See, they never used to have that robot voice. They used to have some guy, actual New Yorker. 23rd Street. Get off the train. Stand clear of the doors, you fucking cunt. There used to be this guy late night. Had like the sickest New York accent ever. We used to always get down to 33rd Street. And he'd always be like, next stop, Toity-Toit Street. Stand clear of the closing doors. Oh, someone didn't use their Metro card. Get on the ground. You owe us $1.75. Or is it $2 now? All right. And thus concludes our trip in New York. Fucking out of breath. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Hope it made you laugh. BillBurr.com. Let me breathe. Monday Morning Post. Hey, how are you?
You're the
I'm the guy from Miami.
No.
What is that?
No.
Law and Order Miami.
No.
Yes,
no.
I am. Think I don't know who I am?
No, you're not him. I thought.
Who am I? I'm the guy who does the weather.
No.
Carrot Top?
I thought he was a Super Size Me guy.
The Super Size Me guy.
Who are you?
I'm Christopher Titus. I'm gonna be over at Caroline's tonight. You guys want to go? Hey, how are you?
Who is
Hey, how are you?
Huge fan of you.
What is his
He's a
name?
comedian. He's one of the funniest.
Christopher Titus.
He's one of the funniest people.
You don't say your name. I wouldn't
Christopher
have to
Titus.
say your name.
Hepatitis.
No, I'm the guy. He Super Size Me. That's me.
That's what I thought you
I'm
were.
Spylock Gertrude.
Anyway, big fan.
Morling
of you, man.
Spurlock. Thank you,
I
brother.
listen to your podcast every
All right,
Monday.
guys.
It's awesome.
Thank you. Isn't that amazing? That if one person stops and there's a camera there, the amount of people who didn't give a shit and were still stopping. Holy shit, there's that person I don't know. What's the next horrific album they're going to make a musical out of? Something by REO Speedwagon? Then he'll come on and go, you know, I always thought it was a musical when I was writing it. And you want to be like, yeah, you know, it kind of sounded like a musical. That's why I didn't buy it. Oh, and down there's Times Square. And you're probably wondering why we didn't show you Times Square. Well, someday you'll come to New York and you'll go to Times Square and you'll realize why. Because it's like 40 deep of just fat tourists walking around looking at nothing. Like the M&M store, the Hershey Kiss store, Planet Hollywood, ESPN Zone. That's why I go to New York, so I can sit in a corner booth that looks like a catcher's mitt. I would be walking over there, and it was just the darkest streets I'd ever walked down, you know. And I looked like Richie Cunningham, so I was nervous. These things were annoying right down here. These things, they used to, when they first put these little video things in cabs, everybody, you know, said, we don't like these, get them out of the cabs. People were stabbing knives into them. It was great, and they took them out. And for once, the people won. The people won. So what happened? A couple years goes by, from all around the United States to meet there and kick the Knicks' ass ever since 1972. This area was really creepy when I first moved here, like the West 20s. This was like the garment district. It really had like that serial killer vibe to it at nighttime. There used to be an old, what the hell was over here? The fucking Catch a Rising Star used to be over here, and I remember I used to take the train because I couldn't afford to take a cab, and because they fucking do that. Cash is anonymous. Why can't I shut this off? There we go. Look at this. You hit off and then it comes back on again. We'll make them do it twice just in case they're old. Then they'll have to listen to the commercial. I hurt my finger. I'll sit here and listen. Now we're down in the Chelsea area. This is where all the queers live. All the homosexuals, the homosexual Americans. Is that, excuse me, I'm a little sick. They let the mob die down and then they just fucking throw them in again. All right, but this time what they did is they made it, you can swipe your card and pay for it. So then, you know, they gave you a little shiny thing. So all the dumb cunts out there agreed to go with it. Not realizing that they got back what they didn't want, and they're whilst helping the bankers to phase out cash. You know how many guys are going to get caught cheating on their wives? Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and this is another tour of a city. This time we're in New York City, going right by Madison Square Garden, home of the New York Knicks, who haven't won it since 1972, yet somehow they still call that place a basketball mecca. I don't understand. Well, I guess, you know what, I finally figured that out. Mecca means that people are like, you know, a bunch of people come from around to meet there, which is true. A bunch of people have come